Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. If you've been following this channel for some time, you know that I've always had a problem with the original power supply for the Commodore 64. It's large, heavy and prone to failure, and all this cable is hard to manage cleanly. Of course, there are high-quality modern replacements, which tend to be a bit smaller and even combine the power for the floppy drive in the same unit. But there's a hard limit to how small and light these PSUs can become. The reason for this is that the C64 needs both a 5V DC input and a 9V AC input at 50 or 60 Hz. And historically, the best way to get those 9V AC has been to use a large transformer to convert the mains power down to the necessary voltage. The issue is that the lower the frequency of the AC voltage, the larger and heavier the transformer needs to be to perform the conversion efficiently. And this is why all these power supplies, old or new, are ultimately quite bulky. However, for the past few months I've been working on a different solution to the problem. So let me introduce you to the PD64, a plug-and-play power supply replacement for the Commodore 64 that fits in the palm of your hand. The PD64 is powered by a USB PD and plugs directly into the C64 without taking much additional desk space and without messy cables running around. All you have to do is choose 50 or 60 Hz AC frequency depending on your region, flip the switch on the back and you're good to go. The compact size of the PD64 is in small part due to the fact that some of the work is being done by the USB PD wall adapter, but the main reason is a bit more complicated. There are two main constraints to work with here. The 9V AC supply must be galvanically isolated from the 5V DC supply, so the use of a transformer is mandatory. And second, the AC frequency being fed to the Commodore 64 must be 50 or 60 Hz depending on the region, as that frequency is used by the computer to operate its internal time-of-day clock. This prevents us from blindly increasing the AC oscillation frequency to reduce the size of the transformer. The PD64 requests 12V DC from the USB PD adapter, and uses that voltage to generate the 5V DC output with a step-down DC-DC converter. It also generates a 500 kHz oscillation that is fed to a planar transformer. The oscillation frequency is about 10,000 times higher than the usual 50 or 60 Hz, and thus allows the use of a much smaller transformer to provide galvanic isolation. On the other side of the transformer, the oscillation is rectified to produce about 13V DC, and that voltage powers a high-power Class D audio amplifier that produces the final 9V AC output at the necessary frequency of 50 or 60 Hz. The result of this approach is that the transformer can be truly tiny, and that the circuit can deliver lots of power with high efficiency. At least on paper, this PSU could deliver up to 4A on the 5V DC output and about 2A on the 9V AC output, but for safety reasons I decided to limit the current to roughly 2 and 1A respectively. And indeed, safety and reliability are crucial aspects of this design. The circuit is equipped with high-precision electronic fuses on both outputs, short-circuit protection, under-voltage and over-voltage protection, and thermal shutdown. This small bump on the front forces the power switch of the Commodore 64 in the on position, while the computer is turned on directly from the power supply itself through the switch on the back. This is done so that the PD64 can perform a controlled startup and protect the computer from voltage spikes. The PD64 is already in production and the first batch will soon be shipping worldwide. And while not all of the design files will be made public, both the circuit schematic and the 3D files for the case are now available on GitHub at the link in the description. I really look forward to see cases printed in some extravagant colors or whatever mods people will come up with. Anyway, thanks again for watching and I'll see you all next time.